The reason I'm not wearing glasses is, here, I will show you what happens when I do wear them. The fuck is this? I look like a fucking owl. It's disgusting. Wow, I really can't see. That's fine. So I want to talk about some vegan baking essentials. I feel like there are certain things that are like super daunting about starting baking, or even just like one-off baking. Like, okay, prior to like starting Tivoni treats, I never baked because I was like, there's too many things that I don't have in my apartment that I don't feel like going to get. So I'm either gonna wing it and fuck it up, or I'm just gonna not do it. So I'd usually just not do it. To be honest, oh, there's a bug. I use a pretty small amount of ingredients. Having a few things in your cooking space, just like readily available, will make such a huge difference. First thing I would say, of course, is flour. You need that for sure. Either regular all-purpose flour. I mean, that's what I use for everything because it's all-purpose. Or if you're gluten-free flour. That tends to actually be more expensive, which is stupid, but it is. When I've made gluten-free stuff, I've used Bob's Red Mill, like 1-to-1 gluten-free flour. That's an important thing to keep in your pantry or whatever the fuck. Baking soda and baking powder are definitely essentials. If you're like me and before doing a Google search thought that they were the same thing, they're not. They're not the same thing. Don't do that. See, I feel powerless without the zoom option. I just have to move really close to the camera. So really I mean, they like kind of do, they do like the same shit. They're like a leavening agent. It makes me sound like I know science. I don't. But anyways, they're a leavening agent. One of them, oh, this is bad. One of them fuckers is a sodium bicarbonate. I don't know. I don't know science. Don't ask me this. I'm gonna go insane making this video. What was I talking about? Oh, baking soda. So the most important thing to know about baking soda and baking powder is baking soda is really intense. Usually in recipes you'll see way less of it because she's a lot. She will really do the job. There is a way to interchange them, and I wish that I could look that up or even prepared even slightly for this video. So if you only have one, there is a way to substitute things, because that's what I'm all about. Who likes going to the store at 9:30 at night? Not me. Often baked goods recipes will call for both because there's something about the chemistry that they activate each other. But this is why you need to bake, like if you're putting them in a recipe, you need to bake them pretty much immediately because the chemical reaction will start to, it gets reactivated with heat, but they initially start to activate when they interact. Another thing that is really good to have readily available is active dry yeast. I don't know fuck or shit about that instant stuff. Yeast can be a little expensive. It's like a 4-ounce jar for like $8 sometimes. Salt. Salt is so important. Sugar. Sugar is definitely super important. White sugar and light brown sugar. I always bought dark brown, but apparently when recipes say brown sugar, they're talking about light brown sugar. I don't know why they can't just say that. Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal to eat things that are coming out of a centrifuge, but like, what are you gonna do, am I right? I have so many opinions on everything. Some sort of milk is good to have. Water. Water's important. You can't really cook without liquid. I feel like that's safe to say. I'm worried that that's not true somehow, but I feel like it must be. Cornstarch or another type of starch is really good as a substitute for eggs, like potato or tapioca, arrowroot, if you're like anti-corn. I don't know if you ever touched cornstarch. You should try it. It's like touching baby powder almost. I wonder if there's cornstarch in baby powder. Weird. Oftentimes egg is used in baked goods as a binder. That really is its only purpose. It kind of will serve as a leavening agent. The egg whites can be used for that. In the cookies that I make, I use cornstarch and water. Try my shit. It's good. No eggs, baby. I wish I had more science to back this shit up, but you know what? I don't really work like that. I don't know science. And then aquafaba. Aquafaba is the liquid in a can of chickpeas. You get your can, you crack her open, pour the liquid out, and I keep it in a jar in the fridge. Try to use it as soon as possible. The power of aquafaba is manyfold. Is that a word? Manyfold? I'm starting to get a headache from not wearing my glasses. Aquafaba can be used as a leavening agent and a binding agent, depends how you manipulate it prior to baking. So in the vegan challah that I make, I use it as a binder. In recipes that I've seen that call for aquafaba, they do whip it, which it becomes like a meringue. It looks like egg white and pretty much functions as egg white. It doesn't get as like stiff. I hate working with eggs, they're so stupid. I've seen recipes call for it to whip. I think that's supposed to help with the leaveningness of it, but the thing is, if you're mixing it into a dough has to be really well combined, and it also needs to be kneaded to activate the gluten. So I don't know how they're expecting to keep the air in, because that's a really big thing with working with egg whites, is like, if you're making like a sponge cake or whatever, like you have to like fold the flour in really carefully so as not to lose the air that you've just whipped into the egg whites. So it's just like waste of time. The aquafaba has like this silky texture to it almost, and I feel like it works really well to make the dough really soft. I don't know, I've had non-vegan challah since I became vegan. What are you gonna do? I think mine is better. I don't know, it's taken about a year to get the recipe right. I think it really comes down to the aquafaba. It really makes a difference, and I don't know exactly why or how, but it does, and it rocks. Also, chickpeas are extremely versatile. I don't fucking know. Yeah, just crack a cold one open with the boys. And then in terms of equipment, I've done baking with literally nothing. Like a fork is kind of it. If you literally want to buy absolutely nothing, you can use a fork for almost anything. I mean, I would recommend other things unless you want shit to take forever, but it's not necessary. You can use a fork to cream butter and sugar together. I don't know, I've done it. I've made it work, you know what I mean? You smash that shit together, you know? Like you're smashing avocado on your toast. Hashtag millennial. Actually, I'm Gen Z, excuse me. You can use a fork as a whisk, but I would say if you're interested in getting one piece of equipment that's not that expensive, invest in a hand mixer. So a hand mixer is one of those, it looks like, you know, like the handle of an iron, but instead of an iron on it, it's the little whisk friends, and you know, it just makes things go a lot faster. So if you're gonna do that, but also like TBH, honestly, you can get what you need done with your bad boy hands right here. These mother truckers. Fork, knife, spoon. If you have a spatula, that's good. If you have a wooden spoon, she's useful. Pretty heat resistant. Okay, so you will need baking sheets. Clean your fucking baking sheets. Bowls. You should have bowls in your house. I'm hoping that you have bowls. Varying in size. I really want to make it super clear that baking is not as scary as people think that it is. I've had so many people be like, oh wow, like you must know a lot of science. Like that's such a like chemistry like you have to, you know, measure things. You really don't. Someone's probably gonna be like, are you fucking stupid? Of course you do. It's really not that deep. You really can get away with eyeballing shit. Maybe I'm just stupid, and maybe I've just been really lucky, but once you get like a basic grasp on how the ingredients work, then you can play with it. And that's what I think is so cool about vegan baking, is like for centuries there's been like rule books that have been passed down, things that people say you have to do and blah blah blah, but vegan baking just throws that shit out the window. And it's like, There's so much that you can do, and I think that's so exciting. I think that's so fun. This is 25 minutes of me talking. You should follow my fucking channel. Or do you subscribe here? I don't fucking know anything. Comment, like, and subscribe. Follow my Instagram, please. Buy my shit. TivoniTreats.com. Email me, tivonitreats@gmail.com. Message me on Instagram. Comment here. Let me know what you want to see me do in these fucking videos. I love talking to myself. I'm a Leo. What can I say? Okay, bye.